chairman of the State Board of Education. That was all they needed for this to be legal. Those 3 signatures were all that was necessary to have an initial commitment to the standards that were going to be developed. And then the next year, when there were applications going into the USDE for Race to the Top, which was a competitive grant program, they simply checked off among the 500 criteria points that were there what they were willing to do, but these were all following up on this Memo of Understanding, and you can get a copy of that from your governor's office. I have one from the Massachusetts office. It's not difficult because it is a public and a legal document, but there were several large groups that were left out of the planning. As you heard from Jamie in particular, there were 3 groups in Washington, D.C., NGA, CCSSO, and Achieve Incorporated, which all received Gates funding and were creating the CCSSI, which is the acronym for the Common Core State Systemic Initiative, or State Standards Initiative. Money was also going to the National PTA and just about to every organization that you can find out there, because that's where Gates Foundation saw its influence being magnified. You go to the officials, so it's a very top-down kind of thing. The major groups they were leaving out because they couldn't figure out how to buy them off, obviously, were parents. Those were the first groups, because this is where the opposition is coming from this past year. It's suddenly beginning to develop all over the country. Parents were the first large group to start revolting and protesting because they were looking at what was being done in their children's school. They pay attention to lessons their children bring home or tell them about what they're doing in school, so parents began to raise questions. Teachers were the next group. They were following orders, and it was made clear in many schools that if they said anything negative about Common Core, they were being unprofessional. And since Race to the Top was tied to a teacher evaluation framework, this is what Arne Duncan wanted, and states had to develop teacher evaluation frameworks that would include a percentage of student scores, if possible, tied to the teacher evaluation, and that would then be part of a methodology called value added, which has it uses a formula that will help to determine whether